Hey, Vermont speaking. Today I will be talking about student rights. Although students do have rights, my Supreme Court has ruled that public schools can forbid certain activities and behaviors. The main restrictions involve two amendments in the Bill of Rights, which are the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. The First Amendment states that I and my government can't prevent you from expressing yourself through speech or writing it. It also prohibits me and my government from promoting any particular religion. The Fourth Amendment says that you can't be searched or have your property taken away without good reason. But students aren't fully covered by these rights. This is because most are under 18 years of age, and schools act in loco parentis. In loco parentis is a Latin phrase meaning in place of parents. Basically, it means that schools are responsible for kids' well-being in the same way parents are. Your parents can set rules for you that you have to follow, and schools can too. Since private schools aren't funded or run by the state, they can set more restrictive rules than public schools. For example, in almost every state, private school teachers can discipline students with corporal punishment or physical force, while fewer than half the states allowed in public schools. But parents and students may disagree with school policy and can sue if they feel their rights have been violated. In rarer instances, when the law isn't settled or clear, the case will go all the way up to the Supreme Court. Like back in the 1960s, when some students in Iowa wore black armbands to protest the Vietnam War, the school suspended them and their parents sued. The case went to the Supreme Court, which ruled that political expression was protected by the First Amendment even for students. As one of the justices said, students do not shed their constitutional rights at the schoolhouse gate. In a different case, the court ruled that public schools can't force you to say anything you don't want to, even the Pledge of Allegiance. They also can't force any religious beliefs on you, like making you pray or sing religious songs. They can't stop you from praying quietly to yourself. But if a public school encourages prayer, it might violate the First Amendment. And no, you can't do anything you want. If you disrupt class or use vulgar language, you can't get punished. After all, other kids have a right to an education without a bunch of distractions. This is why many courts have upheld cell phone bans in schools. Teachers can't teach if students are texting and taking calls. You can't necessarily wear anything you want either. Since public schools are usually allowed to enforce dress codes, you can even get disciplined if you're away from school, like on a field trip or something. And if you work for the school newspaper or your book, you can't write whatever you want. Since these are official school publications, the school can edit their content. But there are limits. The school has to have a good reason for refusing to publish something. The Fourth Amendment doesn't protect anyone, even adults, from all searches. In fact, police can't search anyone as long as they have probable cause to believe they're breaking the law. For instance, if an officer smells an alcohol on a driver's breath, he can search the car. In a school environment, teachers and other officials will operate on a similar principle. If they have good reason to believe you've cheated on a test, they can search your bag, your desk, and your pockets for a cheat sheet. Even if there isn't a cheat sheet, you can get punished if they find something else, like cigarettes. And if you're keeping something illegal in your locker, forget it. Lockers are school property, so schools have a lot of leeway to conduct searches. Since schools want to maintain drug-free environments, they can also give students drug tests if they sign up for any extracurricular activity. That includes everything from soccer to choir. That's also not how the law is applied to adults, but the Supreme Court has ruled that since drugs are such a menace, public schools can take all sorts of measures to prevent students from getting involved with them. It's a small price to pay. As long as you don't use drugs, you really don't have anything to worry about. Think of it from the school's perspective. They have a really tricky job. They have to create a safe learning environment, and at the same time protect everyone's constitutional rights.